Yo, what's good, YouTube? This is your boy R Press, and welcome to the H-Town Shutdown, your one-stop shop for everything Houston Pro Sports here on YouTube. Appreciate you guys spending a little bit of time with me. Just wanted to come and do a quick video, break down what's going on in the wild American League West and the Major League Baseball, give you a little bit of the Astros update, and talk about the upcoming series for all three teams that are in the running for the wild American League West. As we sit today, it is Wednesday night around 11:21 here in Houston. The Astros just lost to the Boston Red Sox 7-5 in extra innings, 10th inning. Adam Duvall hit a 3-run home run to put the Red Sox ahead 7-4 in the 10th. Astros made a stab at it in the bottom of the 10th, but came up just short. And now they fall to 72-56. That puts them in second place in the American League West. Still, I think one game behind the Texas Rangers, who is 72-54. And they're still a half game up on the Seattle Mariners, who are 72-56, or 71-56, so a half a game up on them. Man, this American League West has just gotten super tight within the last few days. The Texas Rangers are currently on a 6-game losing streak after getting swept in their 2-game series with the Arizona Diamondbacks this week. They are reeling bad, but the Houston Astros could not take advantage of that. They would have been in a virtual tie if Houston would have won today, but they lost to the Red Sox, and the Seattle Mariners lost to the Chicago White Sox in the bottom of the ninth, 5-4 on an error throw by J.P. Crawford III. Tim Anderson pretty much jogged in to win the game. That was a game-winning run, so the error cost them that game. Seattle is now still in the 6th spot. They're only a game up on Toronto in the wild card. But as for this American League West, I've been watching baseball for a long time, and I don't remember a division being this close, this late, and it looks like it's going to be super competitive down the stretch. With Texas losing 6 straight games, that just opened the door for Houston to come right in, as well as Seattle, who had just won 8 straight. Their first loss in the last 8 games or last 9 games was today. So you got teams that are hot like Seattle, teams that are reeling like Texas, and teams that have the team that's been up and down and trying to right the ship the past week after being swept by Seattle and Houston. Now, as for Houston, they're getting healthy. Yordan Alvarez missed the last couple of games because he injured his finger at home. A little weird, but doesn't seem to be serious. I think Dusty expects him back in the lineup either tomorrow's game against the Red Sox or the series against Detroit. Also, it's rumored that Michael Brantley will be joining the team in Detroit and possibly being in the lineup in one of those games, if not all 3, in Detroit this upcoming weekend. So looks like Houston's getting some bats back. They also got Jose Abreu back today. RBI single today. Looked like his swing was coming back. He went 1 for 4, but the RBI single looked pretty good, and he looked like he was swinging with a little bit more confidence first game back. So that was nice to see. But we're gonna need everybody in a stretch run. But the bullpen has been taxed. There's not too many off days upcoming. I'm trying to think. Is there an off day sometime soon? I don't believe there is. I think the next off day might be next Thursday for the Houston Astros. So they're going to be playing, I think, 13 games straight by the time next Thursday comes. So this bullpen is being used at a very high rate. I think the usage rate might be the highest in the American League right now. Our pitchers aren't able to go past 4 innings or 5 innings. Maybe JP France might be the only one who is consistently going 7 innings and over. And that's who's taking the ball tomorrow. So the bullpen might get a rest tomorrow afternoon's game. As for the Texas Rangers, it has been tough sledding for them. 6 straight losses, as I mentioned earlier. The first of those losses was against the Angels, where they were almost no hit. And ever since that game, the bats have not been consistent. And this is Texas has been the best offense in the league by far this year. In the past 6 games, and it's a long season, 162 games. So you expect the ups and downs, you expect the peaks and valleys. Right now, they're down. That offense could barely do anything against Arizona past couple of nights. They would try and come alive in the 9th inning and try and make it a game. Same thing with the previous series. They were swept against Milwaukee. A couple of those runs they made in the 9th inning. And this is a team that, would jump out on teams in the first 1, 2, 3, 4 innings. So Texas right now is trying to find themselves. They got a series coming up, 4 games with the Twins. Let's see who they got after that. So they got 4 games with the Twins. Then they have a 3-game or maybe a 2-game set with the New York Mets. Then it's back to the Minnesota Twins, this time at home in Texas. And then the series of series with the Houston Astros. The final series against the Astros coming up Labor Day. On Labor Day is when the first game starts. So that Monday, Labor Day, begins that 3-game set with Houston. So a couple of series with the Twins and the New York Mets, then on to Houston. Not off to a good start. Last podcast, I talked about the next 5 series for each of the 3 teams. Texas lost their series, as I mentioned earlier, to the Arizona Diamondbacks, losing both games. Houston has at least a split. They'll play game number 4 tomorrow against Boston. They've won the first 2, just lost this 3rd one today in extra innings. So they'll have a chance to either win the series or they have an automatic split, which is good news for Houston. Then it's on to Detroit. Then it's Boston again, this time at Fenway. And after that, they play, let me see where it's at. The Yankees at Minute Maid, 3-game set. We know the Yankees are reeling. They've lost 9 straight. I'm not sure if they lost tonight. I'll check that out. But they've lost 9 straight. And then they'll finish it up, as mentioned earlier, with the Texas Rangers in Arlington as far as the next 5 series. As for the Seattle Mariners, they're off to a good start. They won their series against the White Sox, and they're headed home to face the Kansas City Royals. That is obviously going to be in their favor. After that, the Oakland A's, I believe, come to town. Then the New York Mets and the Cincinnati Reds. So not a lot of tough series coming up for Seattle, as we mentioned earlier. The Yankees won tonight, so they stopped the 9-game skid. They didn't lose 10 straight. So, but yeah, the Yankees will be coming into Houston later on this month. So, in the comment section, guys, tell me what you think. Who do you believe is going to win the American League West? And also, which of these teams are going to make the playoffs? Either all of them could have a possibility of missing it, and all of them have the possibility of making it. Who do you believe is going to make the playoffs in the American League West? And who do you think is going to win this division and ultimately grab that 2 seed, potentially a 1 seed? They're right there. Still a lot of games left. Baltimore is in the lead, and Tampa has, I think, a 4-game lead, at least on Houston, 4-game lead. Might be 5 now since the loss. But, the number 1 seed is still a possibility. But as of right now, who do you think is going to win the American League West? This is how I see it playing out. I do believe that the Houston Astros are going to win the American League West. Shocker, right? Might sound like a homer, and I probably am biased, but I do think that Houston will pull it off. Texas is reeling right now. They've been in the lead pretty much the whole season. So to lose it in September would be a pretty gut wrenching for the Texas Rangers. But I do see that happening, and I do think the Houston Astros will win this division. Now, it won't be easy, and I think it'll happen probably on the last day of the year, to be honest with you. Texas, every time Texas seems to have slipped a little bit, Houston slips right with them. So they haven't been able to jump them, or haven't been able to overtake them yet. Now, the caveat, or the wild card, I should say, is the Seattle Mariners. This is one of the hottest teams in the league. It might be the hottest team in the league right now. They're playing with a bunch of confidence. Julio Rodriguez has been balling out of control, and we know that pitching staff is elite. Elite. So a puncher's chance is with Seattle, and I have to say that I believe Seattle will probably finish second in the American League West. I think they catch Texas as well. I think Texas gets caught by their two division foes. Houston ultimately winning the division, and Seattle catching them and getting that wild card spot, possibly looks like likely right now the 5th seed. But good news, Rangers fans. I do not believe that the Texas Rangers fall out of the playoffs. I just don't believe that. They've been too good this entire season. They've been leading the American West most of the season. And this is just this past 2 weeks or week has become the most competitive division in Major League Baseball. So I don't really fault them. They're on a losing streak. I don't really fault them if they, don't win the division. You know that that's their goal, and you know that they're going to try and continue to do that. They got the best. I still believe they have the best offense in the league. The pitching staff, it is questionable. The bullpen is very questionable. So that's where their weak link is. But they've been able to outscore teams this entire season. So a lot of people have already picked Toronto to either catch the Mariners or get in before the Mariners. I don't see that happen. Neither do I see them getting in before the Texas Rangers. I think they have a series with the Rangers in September as well. So that might determine a lot in playoff seeding in the future. I just don't see Texas falling out of playoffs. I think they're too good. Corey Seager is a phenomenal player. Marcus Semien, Adolis Garcia, Heim, Josh Young when he gets back healthy. The Mitch Garver, he's been a revelation for them, man. He's been really their most consistent bat probably these past couple of weeks, especially when Heim was hurt behind the plate. So I mean, Bruce Bochy, he's a future Hall of Fame manager, 3 World Series championships with the San Francisco Giants. I just don't think Texas is falling out of the playoffs. I don't believe they win the division because this division is too tight, and at some point, Houston is going to have to take a step and take this division. But Texas isn't falling out of the playoffs. I don't see that. So as of right now, I think Texas might get that 6th spot, and that might be determined also on the last few weeks of the last week of the season when they play Seattle twice. 7 games with Seattle coming up. That's going to determine a lot. As for the Mariners, this is the team that I think most people expected them to be at the beginning of the year. With the pitching staff that they have, only thing that was questionable was would their bats be consistent. Now you see their bats are becoming consistent. No one more consistent than Julio Rodriguez has been the past week and a half. You see Cal Raleigh has been doing his thing at the catcher position with the power hitting. Ty France is coming along. They got some guys that underachieved most of the year, but they're turning that corner now. Suarez, they got a deep team. I know all about it. They've beaten my team 8 times this year. So, and that's a team I really don't want to see in the playoffs. So I don't see them not making it either. They've been too hot, and this run that they've made to put themselves in it. If you look back at this, guys, They were behind Anaheim, the Yankees, Boston, and Toronto for the wild card. Just maybe 3 weeks ago. Just 3 weeks ago. And look what they've done in these past 3 weeks to a month. Passed all four of them up on the heels of Houston and on the heels of Texas for the division. This team's not missing the playoffs either. So this American League West is going to be fun down the stretch. But as I said, guys, tell me who you think is going to win this division. Who you got? Mariners, Astros, or the Rangers? The American League West is going to be a showdown. This is the Wild Wild West out here in the American League. Before I go, guys, I just wanted to give you my thoughts on what the playoffs will look like and how I think the American League will go. So I do think Baltimore hangs on to that one spot. I think the Astros get the 2 spot. I don't think they get that until the last week, maybe even the last day of the season. 3, I believe, is going to be the Minnesota Twins. Just don't see the Guardians competing, really. Minnesota has got probably, a 4 or 5 game lead right now. And the Guardians are, under 500. Minnesota's got the North wrapped up unless a major choke job happens. At the 4 seed, I believe Tampa is going to be there and stay there. We know they've had their, especially in the past couple of weeks, their issues with injuries and off the field problems. Wander Franco probably not coming back this year. More than likely not coming back this year, and who knows beyond that. But I think Tampa Bay still holds on to that 4 spot. I don't think they catch Baltimore. Number 5, I believe, will be the Seattle Mariners. They're way too hot, and this team is turning it on at the right time. And number 6, I believe, will be the Texas Rangers. I don't think Toronto, who has shot themselves in the foot time after time, year after year, I don't think they're better than the Rangers. I don't think they catch the Rangers for the wild card. So that's how I see the seedings going. Now, here's how I see it playing out. I think that the Mariners beat the Tampa Bay Rays in the first round. I think they beat them. I think it might go 3, but the Mariners will win that wild card series. I think the Texas Rangers beat the Twins. That might go 3. I think it'll go 2. I think Texas beats the Minnesota Twins to move on. So I believe we're going to have 3 AL West teams in the American League Division Series. Going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. So that means if it's 2, that means I think the matchup would be the Rangers versus the Astros and the Mariners versus the Baltimore Orioles. If it plays out that way, I believe that's how it's going to play out. I'm trying to think of last year how Houston was the 1 seed and they got the winner of the Blue Jays Mariners, which was 4-5. And Tampa played Cleveland, which was a 3 seed. Cleveland went on to play the Yankees. So yeah, I think the Rangers will have to play the Astros in a second round, and the Mariners will have to play the Baltimore Orioles. I think the Orioles beat the Mariners in 5. It's not going to be an easy series. I think the Astros beat the Rangers in 5. Not going to be an easy series either. Then we got Baltimore versus Houston, American League Championship Series. It's just my prediction. I think Houston wins that in 7 and makes it back to the World Series. That's how I see the American League playing out. Take it with a grain of salt, guys. I am a Houston Astro fan, born and raised here in Houston, so maybe I got my orange colored glasses on. But I would love to know your thoughts. How you think the American League West will be won? Who will win it? Which teams make the playoffs? Which teams don't? And go on and give me your American League predictions while you're at it. Hey, guys, I appreciate you joining me today here on H-Town Shutdown as we break down this crazy American League West in the Major League Baseball season this year. Keep it posted, guys. I'll give you an update on the Texans coming up this week. They play a preseason game coming up against the New Orleans Saints, the final one. We'll see how they do, who makes the team as they get ready for week 1. Also, my general NFL picks will be coming up as well on my other show, General Sports. So make sure you tune in, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a video. Thanks for joining me, guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the other side. Peace.